If you want returns that are going to be having you seeing dots, Polkadot is the crypto that you need to be paying attention to. Polkadot has a 1-2 setup in place that can take us from $28 now to 191 and then to 583 for a 21x return and eventually 1779. That would be a 63x return on your current investment. However, with such crazy sky high returns, there's some caveats and there's quite a bit of risk here due primarily to the limited history that we have in this cryptocurrency. Just like Uniswap, our history only goes back to about 2020 on this platform. I can only track it so much. And with limited history, there's limited confluence and there's more risk in any kind of analysis that we do. The pattern here again is just like Uniswap, very similar. And the pattern of Uniswap is reminiscent with LTC Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, mainly due to the fact that we had a large impulsive rally from 2020 into early 2021, and we've had a deep pullback of just over 50%. So again, just like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, this whole thing looks like a big 1-2 setup. So what are we looking at here? We are about to, well, we're actually in a rally right now in a subwave 1. So in recent times, we had a rally starting around July 20th, and it has taken us to, well, it's taken us to about $28. That's where we are today. However, as I mentioned earlier, there is a few risks with Polkadot. Not only do we have a limited history, there's a lot of non-standard patterns here that don't quite fit our standard Fibonacci numbers. So as you can see here, we have a rally, and if I base our Fibonacci extension tool on the 1-2 that we have, we don't quite have patterns that make any sense. We don't have a clear wave 3 that makes it to 1.38 extension. If I force it, then our fifth wave went all the way up to what, 2.618. It's a really high extension. Again, not a question for a cryptocurrency. It's a really high fifth wave. Assuming that is the case, I'm calling that top back here on August 17th, 2748, my wave 1 top. The subsequent pullback is my wave 2. And if that pattern holds, if we don't pull back again, we're already up for the races. This thing is going into wave 3. Otherwise, we have an alternate pattern here, which is marked in red. And that would tell us that this more recent peak, right around $29, was the actual wave 1, and that we may still pull back into a deeper wave 2. Again, this number is just representative, not exactly sure where it would drop. But in order for this to, in order for this pattern to hold, we really need to hold $16.95. So $16.95. If we hold that, we're going to rock it up. If you're looking to buy, good time to buy. We might be running away. This might be like a runaway freight train pretty soon, or we may pull back. Either way, it's a good time to buy if you're doing lump sums. Again, size your positions accordingly. It is a high risk play. If all this holds, if we continue to rally, our wave 3 target is looking at $46 to $50 relatively quickly. We'll have a small consolidation in the fourth wave, and ultimately we will hit a wave 5 target of $52 to $57, which I'm marking with this parentheses lowercase I. This target actually matches up pretty well with our big picture. So when we look at the big picture, you'll see that I use the same nomenclature here. And that target is going to be somewhere between $31.52 and $63, right in that range. So if this rally holds together and we get that subsequent third and fifth wave, that leads us to a bigger 1 wave, we're looking good. As I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of issues, a lot of things that do bring me a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of worry about the alternate pattern playing out. As I mentioned before, we'd have a 1-2 setup potentially, but just like on the smaller timeframes, the longer timeframes also are full of non-standard targets. If I set this up as my 1-2, there's a lot of funky stuff going on. We don't have a clear third wave. The third wave, if this is it, it went past the 1.764 extension, which is unusual. We had a hell of a blow off, maybe 2.618. Again, it's eerie how similar it is to what we're seeing in the smaller time frame. But in Elliott waves, patterns are fractal, they self-repeat, they self-replicate. So what we see here, we may be seeing a fractal copy of that in our smaller time frame. So again, reason for warning, again, there is a risk here. If this is not as bullish as I think it is, we have an alternate red pattern here as well. That has this initial correction actually being just an A wave within a larger wave too, and that we may be in a fake out rally, a B wave rally, which could top anywhere in this vicinity, and we may swing lower for a final wave C of a bigger wave too. So again, there's a risk here. Be mindful of that. Again, size your positions accordingly. Aside from that, if we do hold the support level, here's what we're looking at. Again, we'll have a wave 1, wave 2. Our sub wave 3 is targeting $191. We should have a small consolidation of sub wave 4. We'll hit a fifth wave, a small fifth wave or overall third wave of about $583. That's where the 21x comes from. What is it? 19.8, 1981%, whatever that is. If that holds, we'll pull back in another slightly larger fourth wave. It may take a bit longer. Our fifth wave target would be 1779, which was the number I mentioned earlier. That would be our 63x returns. But again, that is the 1.764 extension of the overall rally that we've had. 2.0 would not be out of question. That would be 3,500. A long way from that still. We have to have a lot of things fall into place. And again, this is one of those cryptos where it's a little higher risk. I'm not as confident about the pattern. But as I always say, when the pattern changes, when the facts change, it change our opinion. We can't hold on to what we think is going to happen. If we break support, which I mentioned earlier, 1695, probably time to get out of Polkadot, possibly Uniswap. We'll see how they'll move together. Other than that, happy trading and thank you for watching.